Hey everybody, it's Galmadex and welcome back to some more Magic Arena. Today we're going to be playing another traditional draft of Lorwyn Eclipsed. Without further ado, let's get into the pack one pick one where we might finally draft a Kithkin deck. I don't know if we've drafted Kithkin a single time yet. As a standalone archetype, we've had some Kithkin in our other decks, like the new green-white figure we've had quite a few times. But starting off with a great Kithkin rare like Brigid's Command here, that wants you to play as many Kithkin as possible, could actually get us into the deck. Like all of the other commands, this is a fantastic rare, a very good reason to play that specific creature type as your strategy. And so we're just going to lead off with Brigid's Command here, certainly much better in draft than Meek Attack. Pick 2, get another excellent green rare, the Sapling Nursery. This is going to incentivize us to play as many forests as possible, so we want to be much deeper into green than white ideally, but it's a strong enough card that no matter what our makeup of the two colors is going to be, if we're in green as one of our two colors, we're going to play that. This thing is ridiculous. Every land you play later spits out a 3/4 Tree Folk. They must have taken a premium uncommon over that. Maybe like the 3 mana 3/2 that bounces something when it enters or something like that, but I'm more than happy to take Sapling Nursery here and move on to pick 3. For pick number 3, we don't see any Kithkin here, unfortunately, but we do see a white removal spell if we stick to green-white, or some reasonable elves, particularly the Lysolana Informant is a pretty good one, to try to stick to green for the Sapling Nursery. Somebody could live the Meek Attack dream and have 2 copies, although honestly I don't even know what you're supposed to do with that in draft. Total power and toughness 5 or less means like a 3/2 or a 2/3 or smaller. So the idea is you play it with like 0/0s that come with a bunch of +1/+1 counters, but those don't really exist in this set. It's kind of stranded in this draft format. It just doesn't really do much here. Yeah, I mean, off of our first picks, both being really strong green rares, I think we just take the Informant here over the Spiral and make sure we end up in green. Pick number 4. We do see some reasonable Kithkin now, the Festival as well as the Foul Knight. The Dignitary is really good in elf decks as well. If you have a little bit of a self-mill theme to where you can get that elf into your graveyard for this, 2 mana 2/3 tap for double green's kind of ridiculous. Little Soul Ring elf there. But I think with the Brigid's Command, I want to try to stick to Kithkin if I can. I'm going to go ahead and take the Festival here, which is really, really good with cards that care about like Kithkin entering the battlefield or the number of Kithkin you have on the board because it's 2 1/1 Kithkin. The enchantment itself counts as a Kithkin too, so it's 3 Kithkin from one spell before you even activate it, and then you can obviously activate it to spam out even more. Pick 5. Pyrrhic Strike's a nice flexible removal spell. Main deckable artifact and enchantment removal, and because it destroys a creature with mana value 3 or greater, that's going to kill almost all the bomb creatures in the set. There's very few at like 2 mana or less you're going to care too much about. So we'll take the Pyrrhic Strike here. Pick number 6. I don't mind another copy. I wouldn't mind the Nomad either, but we'll grab another Pyrrhic Strike here first. Now we'll grab a Gold Meadow Nomad. I will say we're not seeing a lot of green, which I'm not a big fan of when we've got that Sapling Nursery. Because we want to be as deep into green as possible. But again, strong enough card. If we have to cast it for 5 or 6 mana, it'll still be a good card. This is all bad filler for Kithkin. I suppose since we're doing a best of 3 draft, we could take the Unforgiving Aim that we could pull out of the sideboard. It's that, or it's the very filler Dune Guard. I'm going to take some sideboard material here. Nothing good here for anybody. Take some bad filler. Take the random kind of narrow trick. It's kind of like a hexproof trick in a way, where you use this in response to them trying to use a removal spell on your creature. You flicker it and get another 1/1. That can be decent. And then there's the literal hexproof trick, Blossoming Defense. It's probably even better for the efficiency. Okay, we got a white removal spell, or we have Lewin, which cost us double green. but has a really gnarly activated ability. Yeah, we can play this in a green-white deck. We don't need to be dedicated to elves or anything. It's got a very scary late-game ability that's going to pull removal from our opponent at worst, and at best, spit out a bunch of worms. Sure. All right, well, there's another great green rare, the Aurora Awakener. We have to get pretty high in terms of our mana cost for this. We got to get up to 7 mana, but it's a 7 mana, 7/7 trample. Puts at least one more permanent into play, probably two more because we're a green-white deck, which could just be like a 2/2 in a land, but that's still really, really good. There's also a Kithkin rare, the Champion of the Klachan, which is also great. But I feel like this Aurora Awakener is just going to be busted, having that immediate enter the battlefield impact. Plus, the way that last pack went, I don't know if we're going to be able to be like 100% Kithkin here, because towards the end we had to take some random just off creature type filler. So I could see just being like green-white good stuff in general, just trying to be deeper on Kithkin than any other type. Obviously, like here, we'll take another festival. Pick 4. Wow, pick 4 Loyalist? I don't feel like we saw a lot of good black. But we've got a Lewin. I think I have too much good white to pivot off from here. This is not a great set for splashing around. Double Festival, double Pyrrhic Strike, Command. I think our white is a little too good to do that. Just grab a Wary Farmer or a Surly Farrier for Fine Filler Kithkin. Shouldn't go for the Farrier here, looking at the way our mana curve is right now. Now we can grab a Wary Farmer or a Foul Knight. I think the Foul Knight definitely goes up in value when we have double Festival for them. Crossroads Watchers, reasonable filler 3-drop. Here's some Merfolk stuff going late now, Deep Channel Duelist. Safe-Right Cavalry is a good creature in general, but I'm going to be pretty low on elves. I could just take a 4/2 Trample Kithkin for 3. I think Cavalry is a good enough creature to just grab it as a decent value creature. Dundulin Weaver, another decent value creature. 2 mana, 2/1, return something from grave to hand if we have enough creatures on the board. Some crib swaps for the sideboard that I will cry if I have to actually sideboard in. We just need 5 more main deckable cards and we'll have a deck here. Not an incredible deck or anything, but looks like a solid one. We have some powerful stuff going for us. We do have a little bit of removal too. Double Pyrrhic Strike and the command can be a fight spell. So we got a little bit of everything we need. A little bit of a mana curve, a little bit of bombs, a little bit of removal. See how this third pack goes to kind of smooth out any of the sharp edges, any of the rough edges of this deck and try to make it perfect. And that's a good start to making this deck perfect. Now we have another 2-drop that is on type for the best creature type for the deck, Kithkin, and is a bomb over time. Bristlebane Battler was an excellent pull. Some reasonable Kithkin on curve, the Shield Bearer and the Wary Farmer. We are only on 5 non-creature spells right now. So we could play a Spry and Mighty. Such a weird, such a narrow card, but we're going to have 1/1s and we're going to have 3/3s and 4/4s. Play around with the Spry and Mighty here. Get another non-creature spell in this deck, another option at worst. Now a Spiral into Solitude for some more removal. Just need to put 3 more cards in this deck. I'm going to put Unforgiving Aim, Personify, and Stalactite Dagger back in, and these will be the 3 first cuts as we find more playables. We'll just build the deck as we go from here. Okay, hitting triple white's going to be difficult for us at this point. We actually did end up where I wanted it to be, which is much deeper into green than white by the end of this to help Sapling Nursery out. Which means that Triple white's a very hard sell, so I'd rather just grab Assert Perfection here. Maybe even Prisma Basher is a fine top-end finisher, but I'm going to grab the Assert Perfection for great removal. Great removal or another one-drop Kithkin. I guess I'm taking more good removal, but I do really want a few more creatures in this deck. There we go. We could play a Surly Farrier. Yeah, over a random Merfolk or a Dignitary. I only have 3 drops right now. We could also play a 3-mana 4/2 Trample Kithkin, but I'll grab the Farrier first. There's a Wary Farmer or another Foul Knight. Again, I like how the Foul Knight plays with these festivals. But curve-wise, well, we could cut Shore Lurker for Foul Knight, and then curve-wise, we're doing fine. Yeah, let's run Foul Knight over Shore Lurker. Run a Dune Guard over our worst non-creature spell, because we have a lot of non-creature spells right now. Sure. Okay, I'll run a Wary Farmer over Dune Guard, though. We can play it off double green instead. Get deeper into green as a color. Yeah, there's a lot of good points towards that. Sundappled Selbert might be better than, like, Gold Meadow Nomad or something. Gold Meadow Nomad, like, technically irrelevant creature type, but what do we have that really, really cares about Kithkin? Because it is just a 1/2 and a 1/1. I think the only thing we have that really, really cares about Kithkin is the Brigid's Command, and we never want to copy the Nomad with that. Yeah, I'd rather play one more kind of top-end spell than this Nomad. Especially because we'll be pretty good at convoking it, especially with the double festival adding to the creature count. So we're sitting on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 creatures if we count double festival, 16 creatures if we count nursery as well, which is pretty perfect. We just got one non-creature, non-token producing spell, which I kind of want to just say Spry and Mighty, but also this looks like a pretty fun deck for that, where this benefits more the higher the difference between power and toughness of your stuff is. Right, you target a 1/1 and a 4/4 or a 5/6. We have 1/1 tokens, we have 1/3s, and then we also have up to 7/7s on occasion. I probably shouldn't run Spry and Mighty, but that's too cute. It's too cute. I might drop Blossoming Defense. I think a lot of our best cards are not creatures that we need to give hexproof to. I guess we have a Bristlebane Battler. Yeah, that's a great card to Blossoming Defense. We're fine to Blossoming Defense a Lewin as well. Obviously, I mean, protecting a 7/7 trample is fine too, but at that point, like, we won't have Blossoming Defense still in hand. I highly doubt we will have any cards left in hand by the time that we have played 7 lands to the board, because we'll just have cast everything else by then. But if we top deck it after playing an Awakener, I guess technically, sure. I really feel like Spry and Mighty's the card we're supposed to cut, but that will not happen. We have double Pyrrhic Strike, Liminal Hold, Command, and Assert Perfection. If I just drop a Spiral into Solitude, we don't really like blighting on any of our creatures. So the Exile effect is pure downside, the Blight 1. Sure. We'll drop that. Still have 4.5 removal spells, Hold, Strikes, Perfection, and Command is like half a removal spell. It's fine to me. I'll cut that. Drop another white source to help our Sapling Nursery out. Call it a deck here. Hop into the gameplay. See how far this one takes us. Keep this opening hand. Battler into the Foul Knight on turn 4. It's not a perfect curve, but it is a couple of strong spells. Playing against a red deck. Green-red tends to be more vivid, splashy stuff, and there's the Great Forest Druid. Okay, we kind of drew into the perfect curve. Because the festival for 2 more creatures entering the battlefield with the battler on board could be gnarly. Speaking of gnarly, our opponent is living the dream mana-wise. Druid, Flamebraider, and Core means that next turn, if they're casting an elemental, they're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana minimum, 8 mana if they play a land for turn. So something gigantic might be about to pop out, but we've got a Pyrrhic Strike. If that's the case, well, there you go, 6/5. We can Pyrrhic Strike, blowing up the 6/5 as well as the Core. If I blight one of my Kithkin away, that feels more than worth it. Good little 2-for-1. Pummeler for hire. For another big creature for our opponent. There's the liminal hold for that, but it's got Ward 2. So I need 6 mana before I'm dealing with that. I don't have double green, so I can't Bridges Command and Assert Perfection. I kind of want to Bridges Command, copy a Battler here. And I think I'm gonna just go ahead and do that. We get the copy before we get the Kithkin token, correct? So it should get a trigger. Yes, it does get a trigger. Nice. Yeah, and I'll trade the first Battler 1-for-1 for the Pummeler. That's fine by me. Just to get that thing off the board. There's a Flaring Cinder. They've got 1 card left in hand. It's just a land. They discard to draw a card. So our second Bristlebane Battler looks like it will be going the distance. It's actually a really good Foul Knight on this board. Another Flamebraider. There's our double green. Alright, well, I will play a Lewin. Cavalry or Forest on top. Take a Cavalry. I still have an Assert Perfection if I cast Liminal Hold here. So I'm just going to shove my way through their creatures here, work my way through. Give them less time to top deck into some kind of out. Zealot's a good one. They're down to 6. Chaos Spewer. They can just spend the full mana to not have to blight. And that is what they do. I just send this, they block with Spear, and I eat it for my 5 mana. Unless they have a 1 mana trick as their last card, which they don't. Wistfulness is gonna be really good in this matchup because we have a lot of good enchantments. We have the festival as well as our enchantment-based removal. Still not massively worried about our position this game, but that is going to be rough to see in future games. They have to block cavalry with something, so this is probably chump cavalry and eat the Foul Knight, take 2. Feels worth it. Okay, they're going to trade into the cavalry and take 4. Put them to 2 is fine. We hold on to that for Lewin. Graspling, discard a card, draw a card. Foraging Wickermaw. Okay. We're going to spend 5 mana for 2 1/1s instead of 5 mana for 1 1/1 here. And we just wait till we have one more creature than they have blockers. Attack in and Blossoming Defense, whatever 1/1 gets through. They're going to dig with their Puka's Eye. Rhyme Chill to stun a couple creatures, sure. So we'll have to wait one more turn. Got the mana to play this Farrier and get another Kithkin. Still be attacking for lethal the turn after this. Just double checking, making sure that's not a sorcery speed ability, and it is not. Shine Striker. Discard a card, draw a card, and then draw 5. Very nice Vivid deck from our opponent. They only have 2 mana up here, which should not be able to save them, especially with a hexproof trick. There's the concession from our opponent. We are 1-0 heading into game 2 of the first round. We can do a double check and see if there's anything we want to throw in. We only saw 1 flyer, so I don't feel like the destroy a flyer thing is great. We did see a chunk of artifacts. There's a Wickermaw as well as the Fridock Core and the Puka's Eye. But this is destroy a flyer or an enchantment or make an elf. If this could destroy artifacts, I'd probably put it in, but it cannot. Don't think we saw enough removal from them to want personify in here as well. Or enough super scary stuff to want to throw in. Spiral on top of the other removal. I think the Pyrrhic Strikes are going to be excellent. That's for sure. I mean, did we see a low enough amount of removal to want to cut our hexproof trick? We saw 1 Rhyme Chill and that was it. That doesn't even permanently kill something. We could drop the hexproof trick for a spiral, I guess. That's probably not crazy. Although just the +2/+2 is fine as well. Helping break through like all their 3/2s they've got a lot of. No, I'll just keep it in the Blossoming Defense. Just running back here. Didn't have any problems with it. This is a very different hand from our first game. We really want to draw mana. But this hand has a very, very strong late game if we just keep drawing lands. Perfect. Not only lands, but we're hitting forests for that nursery. I think I have to play Plains Festival next turn, even though I could go Forest Nursery. If I top deck another. Now I could play Lewin for a 4th forest to play Nursery a turn sooner. I mean, that honestly is probably worth it. Perfect. The mono green dream. So unless they have their mythic elemental in hand to exile Nursery immediately, we should be having a great time this game, and I'm not going to play around it because it is 1 out of their 40 cards. Alright, they do not have it yet. It is in the bottom 28 somewhere, which means we are going to get some sapling nursery value. Let's just flood the board here. Really happy I threw in this Sun-Dappled Celebrant over the 1-mana 1/2. I think it plays super well with our double festival. Okay. Reasonably cluttered up board here. Spry and Mighty with a 5/6 out, though. Okay. I mean, you cast those. Yep. Whee! Alright. First cast of Spry and Mighty was officially incredible. And there's the concession from our opponent. Yeah, because now, like, our 1/1 is going to be hitting them for 5 or forcing a trade into a real creature. We're still just popping off with the nursery. Gross game of Magic. That is 2-0 in round 1. Pretty commanding lead as we head into round number 2. Here we are on the play for game 1 of round number 2. Can't really keep the 1-lander. Even if I draw a forest, yes, I start with Bristlebane Battler, but then I have to keep drawing lands to actually do anything with it. That's just too rough to need to go runner, runner, runner. It says Battler into the Informant doing some surveilling towards mana. So we keep this one rather than mulling down to 5. Virulent Emissary starts things from our opponent. Be the Death Toucher to keep Bristlebane Battler off them. I can't kill it with a Pyrrhic Strike. There's an Informant for their board as well. Mill's a big old pummeler. Well, here's our Informant. In worst case scenario, we have a Safe Right Cavalry, I guess. Celebrant can go straight to the graveyard. Okay, green-black elves, that is to be expected. They started the game with a couple elves in a row. So here's Eclipsed Realms, which can tap for elf mana, but only elf mana. Nobody can tap for colorless as well, but the only black mana they have access to is for elves only. I don't think it's crazy to trade into the Death Toucher here. I'm going to get this Death Toucher off the board. so that if the Bristlebane sticks around long enough, we get to keep it. We also get to surveil towards white and find the white mana. I could Pyrrhic Strike the Brawler and make sure Battler doesn't die. But I'm going to play safer at Cavalry. If they have removal for Cavalry, they can kill them both. Or the other way around, if they have removal from Battler, they can kill them both. Blue Source is a plot twist I was not expecting. So they're probably green-black elves, but they have Marilyn, the elf and fairy rare. That card is busted in half. 5 mana for a 4/5 flyer. When it enters, each opponent exiles the top 2. You can cast something that has mana value less than or equal to the number of elves you control for free. It's a really, really gross card, because even if you have like the Pyrrhic Strike to kill it immediately, it's going to steal a card and cast it against you, and 2 for 1 you bad. Ward, baby! Thank you. Bristlebane Battler's Ward, very cool. Now, one part that's a little awkward, that's technically a 2-drop, so I can't Pyrrhic Strike it. But I could blow up the enchantment on it. I don't think we just trade a Crossroads Watcher and do it on blocks. And send the Battler in. I could hold an extra card in my hand here against green-black, especially because they're likely a Marilyn deck, which is the card that triggers off elves and fairies. That means they could have the 4 mana 3/2 flying fairy that makes you discard a card. It's possible. Still wouldn't call it likely. Oh, here comes Marilyn. Unless they have a better rare. Yeah, I was going to say, I doubt they have something stronger than Marilyn. We're going to take literally every opportunity we have to kill an elf before they play Marilyn. So if they send in that informant, I'm taking the trade. They didn't send in the informant, sadly. So I have to pass from here. I could technically attack with Battler, and then I can Pyrrhic Strike away the enchantment if they block, but then I don't have Pyrrhic Strike to kill Marilyn, so we just need to kill Marilyn. Unfortunately, Marilyn's going to probably get to cast something out of our deck. I mean, it depends what our top 2 cards are. It could be land, if we're lucky. Well, let's see. Oh my god. Let's go. Should I blight 2 counters onto one of my creatures to reduce the size of this informant? Put 2 counters back on Bristlebane Battler? I don't know. I guess. So I guess another reason to now start holding on to lands is that we could hit our landfall spell that spits out the 3/4 Tree Folk. We'd want to be holding on to extra lands for that. That was a good draw. 4 toughness blocker, it's perfect. We just send in the other 2. Did they miss the first strike? Or do they just really want to surveil? They might have missed the first strike. Surveil keeps the card on top, so they're drawing something good here. Adherence is good here. That is large and in charge of the current board. Can't do anything until we draw another removal spell then. Surveil to the top again. They are just hitting gas off top. Assert Perfection is not a removal spell that's actually going to work here. I mean, yeah, no. Unless I draw like another creature next turn, and then I trigger like Watcher or Battler attack with one and Perfection it with the other one. Got a 2-for-1 myself. Bad to kill that. Let's see how much worse this next creature is for us. Don't imagine it's any better if they surveilled it to the top. Okay, that's... I mean, that's 2 creatures. That's not good for me, that's for sure. There's a world in which we can trample for lethal if they send this 10/10 at us. We have 6 trampling power right now, but if we draw Klachan Festival, that's a double trigger on both of these. Oh, right, they can untap their permanents. I forgot this had bonus text for a second. This card's nuts. But so is Bristlebane Battler, so it is what it is. Foul Knight is not the truth here. I mean, it's not actually awful, but I think we do die on the crackback from the gigantic trample. We'd attack with 11 trampling power. One less power than enough. I mean, 10/10, I have 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, If I assert Perfection their adherence, it has 4 toughness, and anywhere it blocks, it just straight dies. If they block Foul Knight, they die to these 2. If they block these 2, they die to Foul Knight. That actually is enough to deal with adherence, because they're forced into losing adherence here. Which would mean me not quite... I might die on the crackback, actually, if they can choose to only lose adherence and then all their other creatures attack me, but I think this is, like, our best bet, so we'll just do it. I think there is a way for them to just kill us on the crackback. Well, no, adherence has taken enough damage. They have to lose another creature as well. Okay. Trample kill works with me. That is 1-0 in round number 2. To be fair, I actually, like, looking back and thinking about it, think that they had to block with enough creatures they couldn't kill us on the crackback, and then we probably do get the two-turn kill there, playing that out like that. All right, scary deck. Marilyn, Mutable Explorer, some strong rares. Some removal. We saw Pitiless Fists, if nothing else. Formidable Speaker to tutor out their rare creatures. Okay. Unforgiving Aim is another way to kill Marilyn, but we're not exactly lacking ways to kill Marilyn. Yeah. I could still run it over Blossoming Defense since we only saw 1 removal spell. Spiral into Solitude is a worse way to kill Marilyn, but it can kill other stuff like the Adherence, which is kind of big. Spiral's better at killing Adherence because this only attacks and blocks, so we just spend the 2 mana and it's dealt with. We don't have to worry about it anymore. And then I can still spiral, blighting onto my own creature to kill the Marilyn as well. I think I'm going to run a spiral over Blossoming Defense here. I think that's fair enough. Which is going to be another card that's okay against Marilyn and great against the big Trampler. All right. Slow hand, who dis? It's close to a mull. We're not actually doing anything till turn 4. If our opponent just goes 2-drop elf, 3-drop elf, we probably die. And those are going to stack into a lot of damage early. I guess I can kill the 3-drop. Can't kill the 2, though. So if they play the 2-mana 3-1, we're in pain. But if they're trying to do Maryland stuff, we're in a great spot. It's a gamble. It's a rock, paper, scissors kind of hand. We hope that their hand is rock, this hand is paper. If their hand is scissors, we're dead. Scissors being aggro. Their hand is scissors. But we top deck a 2-mana 2-2 because we play a lot of 2-drops. Thank you very much for drafting all those 2-drops past self. We are a deck with double Festival in it as well. The 3-drop that makes a couple 1-1s, which is really good against Informant. So actually, we did have a lot of really reasonable draws to be okay against them just dropping 2-mana 3-1. No. I mention it and then I draw it, and I wish I didn't trade my 2-2 off, but you know how it is. Could not guarantee we're drawing that. It's really good against a 1-1 Death Toucher too. We love to see that. Come on, a land. Ayo, ayo. We're celebrating. Just because I am so tempted by this Spry and Mighty to do some goofy stuff. And we're doing the thing too, Kithkin and Treefolk Dream Team. 1-1 Kithkin token, 5-6 Treefolk. Each round? No, we didn't see that last round. We also didn't see Swamps last round, which is probably why we didn't see that. They were stuck off of casting any black spells. Outside of elf spells, like the Marilyn. Stoic Grove Guide. Dang it. There goes my Foul Knight attack all. This spiral's not terrible. Yeah, I mean, I've still got the double strike left over, so spiral's actually a pretty good draw. Midnight Tilling. Island, Forest, Grove Guide, and Eulogist. So Eulogist goes to hand. Grove Guide makes a 2-2 to block these tokens, but that means that this will be a great Foul Knight turn. Maryland's going to be filthy. Cast a spell that costs 5 or less off the top. If they have Maryland in hand again. Wee. A play most foul. They're down to 9. They do have the Maryland in hand again. Solid luck, but we can strike it. Oh, they hit the command. Copy a Kithkin you control, right? Yes. So this is just gonna be kill our Foul Knight, get a 1/1. That still could be enough to kill us here because we're gonna be taking 6 on this attack. We only have the 1/1s to crack back with now. Yeah. But we did not dodge Maryland in either game so far. Yep, get a 1/1, kill a 3/4. Play a little bit of defense here. So we just Pyrrhic Strike Maryland now. Hold up a second Pyrrhic Strike and pass. Use these festivals to defend ourselves by spitting out a bunch of 1/1s and trying to grind out this game on blocks at this point. After that little swing. That's not good. 2 creatures get +2/+2 this turn. That's a hit. That is a hit for sure. 3 creatures. Oh, they have a white permanence because of our Brigid's command. Oh my god. Yeah. 3 creatures getting +3/+3 is indeed gnarly. Might get us here. We have been doing a decent amount of getting got this game. Could Blight Exile the Grove Guide. But I think I Pyrrhic Strike, so I have all my mana untapped, so at worst I get another creature next turn. It's gonna be an at worst type of spot here. Oop. We do not want to all attack. Okay. I should have blighted that away in response, but I can still blight one away after I do a trump somewhere. Okay, well, it could matter, because I don't actually think I'm chumping when I can kill 2 creatures. Then they just have 1/3/3 and 1/1/1 left. I am at 1, so I'd have to block everything for the rest of this game. I mean, I'm going to die if I don't draw something good, period. Whether I do that, or whether I chump the 3. Oh, wait, what am I doing? I can kill that instead of that. Yeah, no, that's the best by far. Which means I did miss the Grove Guide Exile, since I didn't end up chumping here. It's gotta be a spell off the top for us to have any chance. And that is no chance. I mean, I can chump and go to 1. That is not it. And here we get to see the big downside of Spry and Mighty, why I'm not massively high on the card. Really cool, real good when it works, but when it doesn't, could have been a 2-mana 2/2 and we would have been in a way better spot. We can make up for our not blighting earlier thing. Which wouldn't have changed how the game played out at all, because they didn't do anything with their pacified Grove Guide anyway. Oh, adherence off the top. Plus another creature. They really did not run out of gas. All right. 1-1 heading into game 3. Feel like it's a real winnable matchup. If we can dodge good 2-for-1 stuff, mainly if they don't have Maryland, I think we can win. It's got Maryland in both the first two games, and that time it was Maryland into spell, 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 spell afterward. Too much gas over there. Spry and Mighty being a huge underperformer this game. But a huge overperformer in the first game, so it's debatable whether we keep it or not. I feel like we were winning the first game with or without Spry and Mighty, though, even though it did technically play well. That said, I'm not sure there's anything really better to put in. Just a Dune Guard. Blossoming Defense. I mean, now that we've seen more of the black side of their deck, Blossoming Defense does look a little better. We actually did see 2 removal spells this game, Embrace as well as Pitiless Fists. But we also saw a gigantic 6/6 Trampler, so we saw even more stuff we want to spiral. It's like keeping the spiral. I don't mind dropping the Spry for defense here. I think I'm going to do that. All right. Final game of round number 2. This will decide whether or not we will be competing for all the marbles, maximum possible prize out, or just going for a 2-1 run here. So definitely on the play. We'll keep this hand, but we have to top deck lands here. The first land is really necessary, and from there, we do want to hit more, but we can wait a little bit longer with a bunch of removal. So let's see how we draw here. Heart of the cards, give me some forests, please. That's a 4-drop. That's a really bad draw. If we're not hitting lands, fingers crossed, at the very least we're getting like 2 drops. But there we go. We do hit land 3 on time, which is a very good draw to make up for the very bad draw first. Although forests are much better than plains for us with the sapling nursery in hand. So, not the perfect land to draw, but just hitting a land at all, it's tremendously helpful here. Vinebred Brawler starts them off. This is essentially just an attacker and blocker, so shutting it off with Spiral deals with everything about it. So we'll shut it off with Spiral. And keep the strikes for better cards. We did hit another spell here. Not only that, but another 4-drop, so another uncastable spell. As draw for turn, it was Gallant Foul Knight. Here's Dawnhand Eulogist, the 3/3 Menacer. Our top deck is a 2/2, which I think I'll play instead of Pyrrhic Striking. That's going to give me a Wary Farmer Surveil, which is going to allow me to try to draw more lands here, unless they take the trade of Farmer into Eulogist, which would also be profitable for me. Okay. We get the Surveil. It's a Lewin, which we can't even afford because he's double green. Absolutely mill him. That would have been an awful draw. So we're actually pretty happy they didn't take the trade then at that point. Kind of lucky there, the way our cards stacked up. Mutable Explorer for the ramp rare this game. Very good. They get more mana. They get another 2/2. They get another 1/1. There's a forest for us. Let's drop the cavalry. We could go Foul Knight and hit a little harder. They don't crack back crazy hard here. Yeah, it's push damage. They could go blow up the Foul Knight, hit for 3, 4, 5, 6 maximum. Yeah, we're jamming. They are going to chump with Explorer. And we're going to get a Wary Farmer trigger again, looking for a forest. Then I could go Forest Nursery. Beautiful. We might not have time to do that, depending on what they play this turn. We might have to play a Pyrrhic Strike or a Cavalry. Set up blocks first. Take our menace damage, go to 12. Great Forest Druid. And a Moonglove Extractor. Okay. If I cast Nursery and pass, I think I have the time to just set up the Nursery. Could also Pyrrhic Strike their Eulogist. Then I'm still not attacking through the Druid. I guess I could send 2 things in, one of them hits for 3. Doesn't feel great. What if I just play a 4/4 and we're setting up double blocks for Eulogist, but they could have like tricks that'd be bad. I think I'm just gonna Nursery pass on this board. Alright, yep. This is why Formidable Speaker's not. It's gonna be the 3rd Maryland game thanks to it. Discards the 2/2 Elf Maker. Man, Formidable Speaker is frustrating. Just have to face the same rare every game. They either draw it naturally or Formidable Speaker is gonna draw it. We've got Reach. They're at 13. I have double Pyrrhic Strike. We get a Surveil 1 this turn. I don't really have good attacks unless even if I tap Farrier, like send in 1 4/5. I'm only holding 2 blockers up. Got a Mutavault 2. The 4/5 could be blocked by a 3/3 and a 2/2 anyway. I think we just pass and hope Maryland doesn't do anything too crazy here. I'll keep basically anything I see with Wary Farmer at this point, because a land would mean playing Cavalry and striking in the same turn and getting a 3/4 from the land, so that means lands are good draws, and obviously spells are good draws too, so I don't know I'm going to do too much actual surveilling from this point on. And then obviously a land is a very good card for Maryland to exile, because it means she's not going to do anything with that. Underneath the land is another elf, though, which would mean them exiling 2 more cards from us. They wouldn't get to play them, because they can only play 1 per turn, but they'd still mill us 2 more, so I think I am going to kill Maryland first. Before the elf resolves. I guess we 2-for-1 them with this Pyrrhic Strike then. I'm not going to have removal left if they have their like 6/6 trample, but I think that's worth it. Because it can actually get us attacking here, I believe. There's the land, baby. 4/5 vigilance. Still 4 power against a 4 toughness and a 1 toughness, so we just do... I guess I just do the Foul Knight, because I like Wary Farmer's ability in theory. And obviously, reach creatures are better than non-reach creatures, so I'd like to keep those around too. Probably just going to start doing vigilant attacks with safe right cavalry after this. Okay, so I'm only going to kill one of the two regardless. So I can kill one of the two and exile the brawler so that it's not buffing their other stuff. Their big trampler with power toughness equal to the number of elves they have. I mean, I guess it might have been better to kill Formidable Speaker. That seems fine to me. Alright, we found the Liminal Hold if they draw that gigantic elf anyway. Eclipsed Elf makes them a lot more likely to draw that. Those two islands, absolutely hating that Eclipsed Elf there. They're giving each other the angry eyes. Vinebred Brawler. Yeah, Sapling Nursery still keeps this board nice and far ahead. Chump attack for a card, you got it. Eat one of your creatures. Or have your life total, either's cool with me. We eat a creature. Pass. Tragic. Another informant. They're searching for the beefs. Mill a land towards them. So Farmer Surveil. I'll take a 3/4. Midnight Tilling, mill 4. They get a 4/2 trample. They might mill out this game. With Sapling Nursery providing chumpers over chumpers over chumpers. Not even chumpers, they're 4 toughness. There's a chance they just run out of cards with all the self-mill elf stuff. But I mean, I think lands are still good here because a 3/4 reach is bigger than the average creature in this deck, and it means whenever we do draw one of our 2 Klachan festivals, we'll be closer to double activating them turn over turn. So if we ever hit a festival, we're in kind of an incredible spot. I might mill that because a land is better than a 3/3. So I mean, our average draw is better than that. I'm gonna mill that. Towards the festivals, or more mana for the festivals whenever we find them. There's the adherence. We got the liminal hold. We can give indestructible to all our 3/4s as well, which is interesting. That makes lands even better. I mean, we'd have to lose the nursery to do it, obviously. So that's a last-ditch resort, but if there ever becomes like a big flunge attack where it's like, well, I just block with a bunch of indestructible creatures, could absolutely be worth it. Pass through. Sapling Nursery just wins board stalls like this, so we're pretty chillin'. Prisma Basher's another real good one. Real good one for these board stalls. They've got 3 colors, so 3 creatures get +3/+3, and then the Brawler's going to buff another one. That's so bad for us. We have a forced chump on the Brawler itself, but if I block with 2 Tree Folk, I only lose 1 of them. Okay, this is not a great turn. Hopefully they buff the Informant and not the Stompling here. Oh, Eclipsed up. Okay, that works too. That's fine. I don't think our surveils are that important at this point. So we can just do this. I can indestructible these, but I can also just leave the nursery around for any more lands we get. I'd be saving 2 Tree Folk. So if I just draw 2 more lands by the time this game ends, then it's a wash. If I draw 3 or more lands by the time this game ends, it's better not to use it. I'm banking on this game going longer. We have the double block on the Basher. We have a 2/2 on that. Yep, we've got the board fully locked down unless they hit another spell here off of any land that we draw for another 3/4, or basically any creature we draw like this Foul Knight. So our blocks are all locked in, all set up here. We really just need one of our 2 festivals. They are nowhere to be seen. Grove Guide's pretty good here. That's going to kill one of our creatures, then make another creature eventually. They have 12 cards left. Okay, I mean, that does get indestructible from Nursery. If it needs it at some point. Doing our thing. Slowly taking over. Have patience. We're in the lead based on what each of our decks can draw. It's just gonna take a while. And obviously based on the nursery on board. It's gonna take a while. Again, still like buffing up Celebrant with the Farriers and sending in is just still not good because I attack with like a 7/8. They block with 2 things. I just kill the 1/6/6 anyway. Safe Right Cavalry is actually really bad for us, but not good enough to break through still, I feel. Okay, opponent doesn't care. They're all in. They want it to end. So target elf gets +2/+2. This is not an elf. Go right there. That is an elf, so that could be 6 toughness. Okay, well, first of all, kill that. Kill that for free. I only have not many lands left. 1 exiled, 12 on board. There's 4 out of these 11 cards are lands. I think maybe this is when I pop Indestructibility. Yeah, I mean, that should probably do it. I like keeping the Celebrant here against the Pummeler is the biggest swing that we get in our favor. Oh yeah, that just wins. That was insane. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them would have died. That is another land, but we're at 8 life. They're tapped out of using Cavalry again, and I'm going to have a Celebrant up on blocks at worst. I guess I can Vigilance one of these. Wait, 3 blockers. 1, 2, 3. 4 times 3. Oh, that's lethal. That is lethal. No festivals required. But I mean, fair enough. The Sapling Nursery, an absolutely bonkers rare that is essentially free, bigger Kithkin Nursery every turn. Oh man, that was a long, hard-fought round there. We fought through Maryland in all 3 games and managed to get through in 2 of them. But to be fair, our opponent did fight through Sapling Nursery. Well, had to fight against Sapling Nursery in like 2 of those games. Bridget in one of them, or Bridget's battle thingy. We played plenty of rares ourselves. It was kind of balmy all over. All right, well, we take those. We have made it into the final battle here after a long, grueling round number 2. It's about an hour and a half of recording now, heading into the final boss of this draft, and it will be the finals again, the top tables here, where we are competing for all the money and all the marbles. 2,500 gems on the line. We'll see if we can't wrap this draft up with another 3-0. Here we are on the play for the final boss with Sapling Nursery and Lewin. Best of friends. I guess not technically. Lewin wants to discard lands, Sapling Nursery wants to play lands, but best of friends in the sense that Lewin can look for specifically a forest. If we mill one here. We did not mill a forest. I do not think I can afford to put a 7-mana card back on top, so I am going to keep... I could decline and put nothing on top. Then I'm stuck on 3 mana for now. Do I want another forest? I've got a festival coming up. Or another plains. I think I do just want the plains here. I think that's reasonable. Okay, Mythic into Mythic from opponent. Moonshadow into a much worse Mythic, Bitter Blossom. So they get a 1/1 fairy and lose a life every turn. Best bet against that is to push damage as fast as possible to punish them for the life loss, probably. So I'm thinking Crossroads Watcher into Festival, trample over the fairy. So you can't stop it from shooting them every turn. We're not going to be doing anything good on blocks till we get Sapling Nursery down, because can't really block flyers, and we're never going to get Sapling Nursery down because anti-sentence. Okay. Assert Perfection. I mean, yeah, we are still pressuring them, doing a lot of damage overall. Especially with the trample on the Watcher. Yeah, let's go mana efficient here. And let's race a Bitter Blossom. Put them to 12. They are black-white, so that's the best color for lifelink, which is sketchy. Sun-Dappled Celebrant. God dang it, that's really bad. Festival still puts in work, but I'm really tempted to play Battler first to remove some counters. But I could go Festival, attack with the Watcher. It trades into Celebrant to get the Celebrant out of the way. think I have to battle her first for the double remove counters. Yeah, I mean, I could go Festival and then target Watcher with Farrier, but again, all that does is Celebrant trades into Watcher. We're not actually gonna get the damage in anyway. I need to draw 2 additional lands for Lewin to actually do something here. I don't mind to chump with Lewin to buy time. Festival. And we have Trample, so they're just chumps, but still. Bad, bad, bad. Alright, we kill Celebrant now. I mean, no, they could just block with a whole bunch of other stuff. Gross. Convoke removal? Monumentally mana efficient stuff from our opponent. I mean, you do what you can, and sometimes you get bitter blossomed. Now we are not breaking through Celebrant anyway. Well, that was monumentally disappointing. I mean, that Splitter Blossom. There's not much else to say about that game. Their deck is absurd. They went turn 1 Mythic, turn 2 Mythic. Auntie's Sentence was actually perfect in the opener to stop the Nursery from blocking any fairies later. Okay, well, Unforgiving Aim can shoot a Bitter Blossom. We'll throw that in here. Spiral into Solitude cannot, but it can stop the big Tree Folk, but we have like 5 other removal spells that can stop the big Tree Folk too. This may just be another drop a Spry and Mighty. And now play a Unforgiving Aim. Could blow up Festival too, but Festival's a really bad target. The problem I'm seeing with throwing in this Unforgiving Aim is that we saw no other targets for it, because you don't really want to blow up a Festival with it, so we saw 1 Bitter Blossom and literally no other legal targets. I guess we can make a 3-mana 2/2. If they don't have the Bitter Blossom and we do draw the Unforgiving Aim. But that sounds like a really bad position to be in, to have an Unforgiving Aim in hand when they don't have the Bitter Blossom. So I'm tempted to almost just leave it to the double Pyrrhic Strike. So that I'm not putting in a card that's just actively bad when they don't have Blossom. Yep, I'm not going to put it in. I think it's going to make our deck worse in any game where they don't have Bitter Blossom on board. Which, statistically, is more likely than them having it on board. None of our enchantment removal, so hopefully they didn't just high roll into Bitter Blossom Opener, Bitter Blossom Opener. We don't have the Pyrrhics in hand. Okay. Okay, Arena. I'm not gonna scoop, but I am officially on tilt. There's no way that they opened 2 Bitter Blossoms, so we have more cards that can kill Bitter Blossom than they have Bitter Blossoms. Because we have double Pyrrhic Blight. That's actually really nasty here. Okay. Copy a Kithkin. Ah, the fight is going to make this take enough damage to not attack into that. No, I can Surly Farrier. Then. Okay. Okay. And then this into the festival. It's a lot of trample damage. It's a 2-lander? Well, yeah, it is, because they played 2 2-drops in a row. Yeah, they just saw 2 lands, Bitter Blossom, Lifelink, or Snap Keep. That is a Snap Keep, indeed. This only picks up permanents. It will not pick up Rigid's command. So we attack all and play this post-combat. That's better than tapping things out for Celebrant when we'll be tapping Tramplers. They have the Convoke removal spell again, too? Oh my god. Their deck is so good. Our deck is also so good. This is still a game. Calm down, Goblet. Hold. Hold. Just infinite 2 mana or less spells in there, my lord. Trample's a pretty big deal, but this will be low enough toughness they block with a 2-2 and a 1-1. I'm on Celebrant over that right now. It's not enough toughness for Celebrant. Oh! I don't want to kill the Bitter Blossom anymore, though. Is this too late to actually want to kill the Bitter Blossom? They have another 1-mana trick? No, okay, it is a chump. It is a chump. You got 5 turns maximum. Hello, Auntie. Goodbye, Auntie. That doesn't do anything. Scoop, baby! It's lethal, right? Oh, Lord. Chump, trample for 3 because we make another creature and hit for 2. It is lethal because we make a creature off the festival instant speed. I'm so scared. Their deck looks more than good enough to have a reasonable shot against us without a turn 2 Bitter Blossom. So I mean, the odds of them turn 2 Bitter Blossoming in all 3 games have got to be astronomically low, so hopefully that doesn't happen again. But again, even if it doesn't happen, their deck's really nice, and I don't think that we have anything that looks way better than anything we currently have. I like the Blossoming Defense here. We saw Protective Response each game. I don't think we want to Spiral. I think we have a decent chunk of removal. They didn't have too many great late game creatures that we saw. It's really the Bitter Blossom that's the problem, and I don't really want to put an Unforgiving Aim in. Because again, if they don't draw Bitter Blossom, that's going to be quite bad. We're running it back for the final game of the final round of Magic in this traditional draft. We keep that a Sapling Ursuline hand with a triple green. Turn 1 Mythic is the play. Okay. I was really ready for turn 2 Bitter Blossom again. If they have the card that would blow up one of my permanents from hand, this hand would not beat another turn 2 Bitter Blossom, so I'm really glad they didn't have it here. Sundappled Celebrant. We have the Pyrrhic Strike for that. Unfortunately, we didn't find another green, so we are going to be on no Sapling Nursery yet. We're just on Pyrrhic Strike, which buffs the Moon Shadow. Just a little rough. We are flooding a little bit. We're on 7 lands right now, but if they can't stop the Sapling Nursery, then that ends up being okay. I think we actually play the Festival first at this point, so that I can get a creature out of the nursery the turn that I play it. I think the only reason it would be better to play nursery first would be if I like top deck something good to play. I think if they draw into like the antes thing that makes me discard a card, it would be like crazy risky for them to play that, trying to make me discard a permanent with only 3 cards in hand at this point. I don't know, I could draw something I want to play. Yeah. To take 5 here. Ouch. Yeah, I mean, a Moon Shadow is also a mythic. It's a 1-mana 3/3 menace at this point. There's Graveshifter on the Celebrant. That's going to be slow enough. Ooh, speaking of mythics, that is a mythic too. Okay, that as the play next turn is going to be huge for us. And now we are turtling up well to stop the Moon Shadow. Okay. And if they ever draw Bitter Blossom, Sapling Nursery kind of beats Bitter Blossom because they keep taking damage every turn, but I've got reach blockers for the fairies. I think we're actually in a really good position top decking that Awakener here. That is nuts with Moon Shadow. Okay. Okay, not as good as I thought it was. I thought that was going to double trigger, but it's whenever 1 or more. Okay, so it's just good with Moon Shadow, not nuts. All right, that actually played out fine, all things considered, and here we go. Even if it's just land, this is going to be insurmountable value. Whee! Beautiful. I will mill the land here and look for spells. All right. I mean, we drew the Stone Cold Nuts in game 3. I'm going to just fully honest about that. We just drew the nuts. We played the nuts. Great lucky draws, great explosive plays, but I feel like we earned the victory that round because we had to fight turn 2 Bitter Blossom 2 games in a row. We actually managed to outrace it in 1 game of Magic to find the kill. Now, again, they kept a 2-lander and then didn't draw their 3rd mana for a while, but they had plenty of spells to play still, so they were doing stuff alongside the Bitter Blossom, and yeah, that was... This is a crazy matchup, because again, I do think our deck is very, very good. We've got these huge bomby things in it, but their deck is really nasty as well. This is a matchup I could play a best of 3, like a whole traditional draft, 3 rounds against this deck, and I could not tell you who's going to win more. I think this is a close to 50-50 matchup with the quality of our decks if we draw really well. I don't know, maybe I'm underselling my deck a little bit, which, I mean, is probably partially the case, because this is the first time we drew Aurora Awakener all day, so I kind of forgot we had that extra bomb too. But that's scary stuff. That's a close match, I think. Certainly that match itself was a close match, even if the matchup overall might be a little less close than I'm making it. Oh, man. All right, another 3-0, another trophy run. That's 2 in a row after our blue-white deck yesterday, and it's basically the same strat, which is get a bunch of really good rares. Turns out getting great rares is great in every set ever nowadays. This was a 6 rare deck. It was an 8 rare deck yesterday. And there are actually 2 of our rares here that I would say are just okay instead of great, those being Lewin and Spry and Mighty. But we do still have 4 great to excellent rares between Battler, Aurora Awakener, Bridget's Command, and Sapling Nursery being a massive part of how we were winning a lot of these games. Now, Lewin in this deck, not that impressive, just like a solid uncommon in terms of power level. Like, this deck's not really going to activate the 5-mana ability often at all. We did it once for 2 1/1s. Other than that, it's kind of just our 2-mana 1/3 on curve that can help try to find more forests for Nursery. And then Spry and Mighty as well. We saw both the positives and the negatives of this card. We got to use it with a 1/1 and a 5/6 and just absolutely steamroll. But we also had it in a game where we had like all 1/1s or 3/3s or like no creatures on board, and then it was a full-on mulligan. If we just had a 2-mana 2/2, we would have had a much better shot in that game. So we saw the positives and negatives of this card, which is why this card, while it does have really explosive, really good games where it is going to win you the game on the spot, because some games it does literally nothing, that's what pulls it down and makes it just an okay rare, unlike these other 4 that are good in almost any circumstance. So yeah, that's my spiel about all the rares, which I think was the biggest aspect of this deck. We did draft some pretty fun synergy stuff too, but it's simple synergy stuff. I'm going to draft everything that says Kithkin, and you're going to end up with some of these combos. But the combos of like turn 3 Festival, having 2 copies of that, into turn 4 Foul Knight, having 2 copies of that. We got a lot of damage in a couple of games with these 2 cards together, and that was great. Another one that I was really impressed by was the Crossroads Watcher into the Festival. Crossroads Watcher into Festival is very much what gave us a shot at outracing that Bitter Blossom in one of those 2 games. And then the command copying a Watcher as well. Beautiful stuff. The trample on that Crossroads Watcher just being incredibly important in that Bitter Blossom matchup. So really happy to have drawn that in multiple games. Everybody else was just solid, self-explanatory stuff. Cannot be unhappy with this run. Beautiful stuff from the deck. That'll be another trophy in the traditional drafts for maximum prize out. 2,500 gems, 2 play-in points, and 6 packs of Lorwyn Eclipsed. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in the recommended feed. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. And other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.